Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be guiding you on how to create a Gantt chart in Excel to effectively manage your projects. What will you learn? First, we'll set up the essential information columns. Next, we'll arrange the days of the week, with highlights for weekends and the column for today's date. I'll show you how to use conditional formatting for automatic coloring. For main project titles, the color bands will be more pronounced. We'll also apply conditional formatting to automatically format the table in an impressive way. The green bar allows us to easily see the project's start and end timeline. For example, on screen, the project starts on October 15, 2024, and the final project deadline is December 5, 2024. With the Shift by Week option, we can move the date table forward or backward by week. The Color By option allows you to customize the color bands. In the default setting, the color bands are in shades of gray. In Project Mode, the color bands vary according to each project, adding vibrancy to the chart. In Priority Mode, colors correspond to priority levels. Green for low, yellow for medium, and red for high. In Overdue Mode, the tasks that are behind schedule will automatically be highlighted in red for immediate visibility. For example, in this case, 40% completion is clearly behind schedule. A task needs to be over 50% to stay on track. With the Show Progress option, selecting Yes allows us to instantly track the progress of each task. Interested? If you'd like to purchase this product, check the link in the description. Or if you want to create it yourself, stay tuned for the rest of the video. Step 1. Setting up basic information and columns. For the columns that will have formulas, I'll color them dark gray for easy identification. The columns that require user input will be colored dark blue. Step 2. Setting up date columns, highlighting weekends and today's date. I'll format the date value to a more concise style and rotate this value vertically. We will use the text function to determine the day of the week. I only want to extract one character from the day's name, so I will also combine it with the left function. The first date that appears in the table is Tuesday, which I do not want to display, so I will make a slight adjustment to the formula to ensure that the first date in the table is Monday. Perfect. Now, I'll copy these two rows and drag them to the right. You can drag it for as long as you want, as long as the last column ends on Sunday. We will need to format the table to distinguish each week. First, I will use the weekday function to test. As you can see, the value for Sunday this week will be greater than the value for Monday next week. We will use this logic for our conditional formatting. Please note that since we are comparing rows, for row 7, we will only lock the row but leave the column unlocked. It's much clearer now, isn't it? Now we want to highlight the 2 weekend days. The method will be similar. Now you can highlight the date corresponding to today, can't you? It's extremely easy. If possible, please pause the video and give it a try. Step 3. Setting up the information table and formula columns. First, we will set up the columns that users need to fill in themselves. I'll designate P as an abbreviation for project, which is the main title. T will represent task, the tasks we need to perform. We will use conditional formatting to highlight the row containing the main title. Perfect. Column E will add more dynamism and artistry to our table. Next, we will set up the formula columns. To avoid displaying values in rows where we haven't set any tasks yet, I will add a small adjustment to the formula. To calculate the overdue column, I will add an auxiliary formula column called %calculated column. The logic for this column will be, if start is greater than today's date, then the task has not yet started. If end is less than today, then the task has obviously ended, resulting in 100%. If the task has started but not yet ended, then the % progress will be calculated based on the difference between today's date minus start plus 1. With the % calculated column now available, identifying which tasks are overdue is straightforward, right? You just need to compare the two columns %sign and % calculated column. The task rows have the text overdue, but the rows with main titles like project are also overdue. I will make a slight adjustment to the formula here. I'll perform a slight adjustment to the formula to replace overdue with a flag symbol. Regarding the ID column formula, there are various methods to number the sequence. However, I recommend you try my approach, because if the user deletes any row, this formula will not produce an error. For the second ID column, we will number each task by project. However, this formula will produce an error if the user accidentally deletes any row. I will make a small adjustment to address this. Step 4. Setting up the Gantt chart color ranges. Now we move on to the most crucial part, coloring the task ranges. The logic is simple. The corresponding date column must be greater than or equal to start and less than or equal to end. Please note that we will use row 7 for comparison, so we will lock the row while leaving the column unlocked. Then we will compare with the start and end columns, locking the columns while leaving the rows unlocked. The color ranges have appeared, right? But I want these color ranges to overlay the weekend date columns I set up earlier. To achieve this, I'll click on the Stop If True option, which means if this array meets the condition, the formatting will be applied. However, if it is also this array and has already been set up with previous conditions, with the Stop If True button, the formatting for subsequent conditions will not be executed. This also significantly reduces file size, so please consider using it. Now, I want the project rows to be colored more boldly, so I'll make a few adjustments. Now we will freeze the rows and columns. Before freezing, we need to scroll all the way to the right and all the way to the top. Then click on cell M10. Next, we will take a small step to set up a green color range to indicate the start and end dates for the entire project. Step 5. Setting up the Shift by Week option. I'll add parameters to allow shifting backward by 5 weeks and forward by 54 weeks. Then, I'll adjust the formula for the first date in the table. Step 6. Setting up the color by option. For this project option, we will need an auxiliary column, temporarily called color code. We will use the second ID column combined with the MOD function. This formula will return 1, 2, 3, 4, and 0, repeating this cycle as needed. If you want more or fewer colors, you can adjust accordingly. As noted before in column E, I will also select Stop if True to reduce Excel's workload. At the same time, I will add a condition for column E to format, according to the Color by Project option. Similarly, we will implement this for the Gantt chart color ranges. Next, we'll proceed with the priority option. To break lines in the formula, you can press Alt and Enter. We will implement conditional formatting again, just like we did for the project option. Lastly, we will work on the final option, overdue. This one is also very straightforward. Step 7. Setting up the Show Progress option. The logic here is that the corresponding date in the right column must be greater than or equal to start and less than or equal to the progress percentage of the tasks. Perfect. For example, for today, November 4th, since I haven't completed the tasks, the progress bar will not extend to today's column. Note: one final note before we conclude the video. In any table with formulas, we should leave at least one empty row at the end without entering data. When needed, we can simply highlight this entire row, drag it down, and use Ctrl+D to copy the formulas and formats from the rows we've set up below. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and comment if you found this video helpful, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.